Hello everyone, my name is Nick Schultz and this is my third language and cultural contact presentation. To obtain the necessary contact hours for this cultural contact presentation, I continued to watch several different television shows that included Los Spookies from HBO, Extra, which is an early 2000s remake of the show Friends, and then I also turned my attention this week to more traditional media and watched several hours worth of CNN in Espanol. Additionally, I continued to listen to the kind of horror comedy podcast known as Escuela Sangre, and then lastly, I turned my attention to, again, more traditional news media, print media, such as the um, periodicals or the newspapers known as El Norte, Reforma, and La Prensa. Some of the new vocabulary that I gained throughout this cultural contact experience include El Periódico, meaning newspaper, El Diario, which means daily or journal or newspaper, El Presidente, La Policía, Corrompido, El Soborno, El Impuesto, La Elección, Postmoderna, El Regulador, Acusar, La Protesta, El Juicio, Convertir, Transformar, Reformar, El Fantasma, and perhaps my favorite word of the week or words, Los Lobos Marinos. Now, if you take that direct translation, Los Lobos means wolf and Marinos meaning sea, so technically it looks like it's sea wolf, but in fact we are talking about sea lions. So probably my favorite piece of vocabulary from the week. A couple of the colloquial phrases that I learned from my contact for this project are irse al avión, which literally translates to leaving the plane, but in a more looser colloquial context means to lose your train of thought. Additionally, I have also learned about the term híjole, which means wow or holy cow, and that definition can kind of be shifted with either positive or negative tonal inflections. Guacala, meaning that's horrible, and sale, which means okay, cool, or okay, let's go, or simply just okay. And lastly, another version of the way to say what's up is que pedo. Now on to the cultural comparison and contrasting of the things that I observed. The first point that I want to talk about is the concept of personal appearance. In U.S. cultures, appearance, at least in professional context, it's important, but it can often be viewed as secondary to your actual performance. What I mean by this is a CEO could dress in a business casual attire and still be taken seriously. But in Latin American culture, appearance is very crucial for business, political, and formal interactions. Dress and grooming are ultimate status symbols. In the U.S., sometimes appearance can be seen as frivolous, but in Latin American cultures, dress is very important. People tend to dress up to match the level of power that they want to embody. And what I mean is, if you're going for the presenting yourself as a CEO, you're going to dress as a CEO. You would never dress in business casual. Dressing down has kind of the exact opposite effect. If you don't dress the part, people are not going to take you seriously. You're going to have minimal authority. In the US, this does hold true to some degree. However, again, we have business casual appearance in daily business interactions, whereas this most often would not happen in Latin American cultures. Another point that I wanted to touch on is the concept of social gatherings and celebrations. And while both U.S. Anglo-American cultures and Latin American cultures do have celebrations, it's very apparent that U.S. cultural celebrations and social gatherings are often comparatively smaller affairs, often reserved for family and close friends, whereas Latin American social celebrations tend to extend to the family, friends, and members of the community in these vibrant festive affairs, which again are much kind of larger than what we see in the U.S. And lastly, I want to talk about the concept of individualism. In Latin American cultures, people are much like they're associated with their family over work, people in Latin American cultures also appear to be concerned with the goals of the group rather than just themselves. They try and help advance the aims of who they're associated with, not just the aims of one person. In the US, individualism is more coveted and it's praised, and people seek to advance themselves um, alongside of even their colleagues or adjacent to their colleagues. But individualism is a very kind of unique concept in that people in the US tend to covet individualism, where in Latin American cultures, individualism takes a backseat towards help advancing the goals of the group. That is it for this presentation. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below.